Good evening, students. According to Section 88A, input tax credit on account of IGST first to be utilized towards the payment of IGST tax liability and remaining amount to be utilized towards the payment of CGST or SGST or UTGST in any order. Again, I am telling you in any order because previous rules was not allowed in any order. According to new rule, in any order you can set off. CGST or SGST credit can be utilized only after IGST has first been utilized completely. So, in this section, we can make it clear two important points. First and foremost, IGST credit has to be utilized first to set off IGST tax liability. Then it can be utilized to set off CGST or SGST or UTGST tax liability in any order. Second point, unless IGST credit is utilized completely, you cannot utilize CGST or SGST credit available. These are the two important points you should remember in section 88A. Let us discuss this with a problem. In this problem, you can see here IGST liability is 1000 and IGST credit available is 1300. CGST liability to be paid is 300 and CGST credit available is 200. SGST liability to be paid is 300 and credit available is 200. Let us see one of the options you can solve this problem. First, the credit of IGST 1300, out of which you can utilize 1000 rupees to set off IGST liability. So IGST liability is completely paid off. So remaining 300 IGST credit you can utilize either to pay CGST or SGST. Here what I am going to do is, out of this 300 credit, IGST credit, I am going to utilize to pay CGST 200 and SGST 100. So now IGST credit available is completely utilized. So I can go to CGST credit. I have CGST credit 200 but liability is 300. But out of this 300 CGST liability, I've already set off or paid 300 from IGST credit. So only 100 CGST liabilities remain and this will be set off from CGST credit balance. And remaining 100 CGST credit is still with us. Next, in SGST liability is 300 and SGST IT credit, income tax credit is 200. Out of this 300 liability, rupees 100 is set off from IGST credit. So, remaining 200 liability has to be set off out of SGST credit 200. So, the balance SGST credit available is 0. This is one option. You can see another option also. In second option or in another way you can discharge your output liability is IGST liability 1000 will be completely set off from the IGST credit available 1300. Out of 1300, 1000 rupees completely the liability is paid and remaining 300 I am utilized here to set off CGST 200 and SGST 100 in the first option. In the second option, I can try like this, or I can utilize this credit available in this way. First, the second option you have is, out of the IGST credit available 1300, 1000 rupees completely I have discharged the IGST liability. Remaining 300 here I have utilized to set off CGST liability 100, SGST 200. So IGST is completely utilized and the balance credit is 0. Whereas in case of CGST liability is, you can see the available liability to be set off is 300, but I've already utilized IGST 100 to set off CGST. So remaining 200 I'm going to set off through the CGST credit available. So here also CGST balance is 0. Whereas in case of SGST liability was 300, but I have utilized IGST 200. So remaining 100 I am going to set off by using SGST credit. So SGST credit available at present is 100. So total 1000 liability of IGST I have set off from IGST credit only, and out of 300 CGST liability I have set off 100 from IGST credit and 200 CGST credit. Out of 300 SGST liability I have set off 200 out of IGST credit available and 100 SGST credit available. So this is also a second option how you can set off. There is one more option you can see in this table. First, IGST liability has been set off completely 1000 rupees out of IGST credit available 1300. Remaining 300 credit available, that amount here they have utilized to set off equally CGST and SGST liability by using 150 each. So remaining IGST you can see is 0. Once the input tax credits available completely utilized, exhausted, you can go to the available CGST credit. Here, out of 300 CGST liability, I've already cleared 150 out of IGST. Remaining 150 I've utilized from CGST credit available. Then SGST. Out of credit available 200 CGST, I have paid 150 out of CGST credit 200 and remaining 50 credit is balance. You can see here. Then SGST required to be paid, the liability is 300, out of which 150 is set off through IGST credit and remaining 150 will be set off with the available SGST credit available 200. Again here also 150 is cleared from IGST credit and remaining 150 is cleared from SGST. So out of 200, 50 SGST credit is available balance. So total 1000 IGST is set off out of 1300 IGST credit available. 300 out of 300 liability to be paid was set off, 150 from IGST credit and CGST 150, and SGST 300 out of IGST 150 and SGST 150. So balance remaining input tax credit for further future is CGST credit is 50 and SGST credit is 50. This is a third option. So you can do or you can solve this problem in about 3 ways. Any of the 3 ways you can choose and you can do this